If I could give anybody advice who's looking at buying a house, it would be probably not to buy a house with a septic tank. I didn't really know anything about it before we bought. Now I know a lot about it, and I probably would not do it again, but also we don't plan on moving. You guys hear that? It's gonna be a beautiful day. The birds are singing, the sun is shining. I needed that so much today. I am going to pick up the family some donuts for breakfast. 1 maple cruller and then 4 plain glaze? Yes. Okay, it has been a couple of hours. I just dropped off Pepper at the groomer, so he is getting all trimmed up and cleaned up. Poor thing does not like the groomers. Like, she's taking him to the back and he was just crying because he didn't want me to leave, so I feel really bad. But he is there, and then I am at the car shop. Also, we don't know for sure which car we're trading in yet, but if it ends up being this one, we obviously want to make sure it's in like the best condition it can be. So we're getting it looked at right now. I have an appointment in just like a couple minutes, and I'm hoping that it doesn't take forever, because if you guys know, these types of appointments take so long sometimes. So hopefully they can get it done within like 30 minutes. That's my hope. And then after this, I have so much to share about what's happened the last couple of days. It has been it's just been a really overwhelming last couple of days, and I have so much to share. So let's get into this appointment and hope that it is fairly quick. I think I'm parked in the right parking lot, but honestly, I don't know. All of these industrial areas kind of look the same. Look at this, you guys. Sun shining. There's a couple clouds, but they're going away. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, I'm home. I'm gonna try and condense this information because I've been throwing a lot of information in the last 24 to 48 hours about what's been going on at our house, and it's kind of confusing, at least for me, because I never grew up with like a septic tank or anything like that. It's a lot of information, and I'm gonna show you kind of what's going on. Washer is so loud. So I'll try and give you like the Spark Notes version of what's been going on. Basically, our house was built a long time ago, so there were different regulations for septic tanks back when our house was built that are different than they are today. They're much safer today than they used to be when our house was built, as well as many houses in our neighborhood, because a lot of the houses in our neighborhood were built around the same time. And when they installed this septic tank, there's something called like a septic pit next to the tank. It's like a giant hole in the ground. Ours goes 23 to 28 feet deep, just straight down. I have some videos that I took yesterday. The new regulation is that these pits are supposed to be filled with rock, because back then they were just filled with dirt. And obviously dirt does not hold up well over time, and so it becomes a huge safety concern when these can cave in. To make our situation worse, there was a tree that used to be here that's not here anymore probably, because there was a, what's it called? A root ball, I think, that was in the middle of the septic pit taking up all of this room. So they opened up the septic pit, which was just a couple inches underground, to a 23 to 28 foot drop. It is terrifying to think about. The fact that one of our kids could have been standing on the rock and the ground could have just given out and fallen. Like, we just thought it was a little hole. It could have been so much worse. I am thankful to God. That is all I have to say, that nothing bad happened. Anyways, we had this guy come over. He filled this septic pit with rock instead of dirt because it literally was a drop. That alone cost a lot of money, obviously, because they had to bring an excavator down, they had to buy all the gravel, they had to rent the trucks, they had to do all this stuff. So it's just been a lot. Then, not to mention, they also told us that in the future it's very likely that we will need to add another pit because ours is really old and non-good condition, because it's old and it wasn't done the way that now it is supposed to be done. Like back then, like I said, no different, they were different regulations, but nowadays it would be in better shape if it had been done the way they are told to do them now. We didn't know any of this when we bought the house, obviously. It's one of those you learn as you go as a house owner thing, but it's been very stressful the last 24 to 48 hours. Scary thinking about what could have happened. And now we have a huge problem in our front yard. You can still see the tracks from where they had to bring in the construction equipment. And because they had to do this, they had to drive in through our planter. They broke off a piece of concrete, which is not their fault. Like, they had to get the excavators down here. Justin's hoping they'll be able to round this off rather than having to replace, because it's just this little, you know, little corner. We're hoping they can kind of round it, curve it off or something, because it's just this one corner, but you can't even see the border. So we used to have a border that went around here, and the excavator just completely demolished the border. You can, here, let me see if you can see it. You can see it's like cracking apart, and it's also been raining so much, which made this whole situation so much worse. I think it's broken over here as well. So we have to get this whole border replaced in the front yard, which is a bummer. But the real bummer is our River Rock Lake has just been absolutely trashed because there was so much mud, so much rain. The river rock is buried in mud now. I don't know what we're gonna do. This is the tree root that was in the septic tank. That right there is the lid to the septic pit, and this is where the hole was. You can't see it anymore. He added this little white pipe so we can pump it, thankfully. This is our actual tank. But yeah, I'm really sad because we have to basically re-landscape now, not just the backyard like we were planning on, but this whole area. It's gonna cost a lot more money too, on top of already what we had to get done for the house. If I could give anybody advice who's looking at buying a house, it would be probably not to buy a house with a septic tank. I didn't really know anything about it before we bought. Now I know a lot about it, and I probably would not do it again, but also we don't plan on moving. It's so expensive. It's been a rough couple days. There's a lot of other stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and so just, it's been hard. I feel like we can't catch a break. I'm just so thankful for Justin because he knows a lot more about this, and he's able to like help talk me through the process because it's very confusing. How are you doing with all of the... You've been more stressed about it than me, probably because you understand a lot more about...
I don't like house stuff. It bothers me a lot.
I told everybody I don't think I would ever buy a house with septic ever again after this.
I'm not doing good.
Yeah.
Because what he told me,
it's been stressful.
That this is just a temporary fix.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, eventually we're gonna need
then
to
we're gonna need to get another pit probably. Said this one's falling apart.
Yeah.
Says the worst one he's seen out of like the 5 that he's doing in the area right now.
All the rain makes it so much worse too. Like all this rain.
Well, there's so many issues. It's like, it's an old system. The eucalyptus tree, it's like so much. It was like overload of information.
It's been a rough couple of days.
When he was talking to me, I'm like, all right, I just need to go sit down.
I know, I was like, I'm so glad at least we have each other to try and figure this out because it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, but a piece of good news that I'm going to rely on is that we just did our like landscaping for the backyard, the presentation and all of that, and it's all good to go. We just have to schedule them to come out and do it. But we're replacing the lantana with a different type of ground cover that's evergreen, just because they basically told us with lantana, see how it's regrowing at the root right here? Every year we're gonna have to cut all these off and let it regrow from the root, and that's just a lot of work because there's like probably like 30 of these and they're all over this hill. So we're doing that, getting all of the weeds taken care of, planting new bushes, planting new fruit trees. We have to decide on what fruit trees we want to do. And then the best part is that on this hill over here, we're putting stairs, like wooden stairs in. That way we'll be able to go down the hill with the kids and actually have like a designated area for the kids to access the bottom of the yard. And we're leveling out a little area by the fruit trees for a playground. They're also gonna cut down this tree because I guess it's infected. He said you can tell by like the thorns and like the leaves right here. Like some of them are healthy, but some of them are like not. So they're gonna cut this down because I think the stairs are gonna go kind of right here down this hill this way anyways, through the pecan tree, and then these, the pomegranate, the orange, and whatever. I think that's he said it's a white grapefruit tree. I'm so excited. They are so excited to have sunshine today. They're just trampling through the whole yard, singing songs and living their best life. They're just like me.
Daniel does gymnastics. Today was Daniel's very first day of gymnastics. There were lots of mats and foams. Blocks set up.
I have to share this really quick. Emma, I got her this strawberry shortcake coloring book from, I think it was from the Dollar Tree about a week ago, and she's been loving it. And I think it's amazing and hilarious because I was obsessed with strawberry shortcake when I was a kid, and like who would have known that I would have had a little girl that looks just like her, except for Emma's hair is a lot curlier. It's just crazy that now she's into this, and I can't find it anywhere. I had so many strawberry shortcake dolls growing up. They don't like make them really anymore, I guess, at least the ones that I really liked. We have to look, I need to look on like eBay and like Depop, because I was showing them to Emma because she's really like into this right now, especially because Strawberry Shortcake has red hair just like her. But I had the ones that like, they look like this and they could just like smelled like strawberries. They smelled so good. I had like the little strawberry house and everything, and I just think it's so funny that I grew up to have a little Strawberry Shortcake of my own who now wants to play with her Strawberry Shortcake.
No, I mean,
look at those freckles, baby. She's getting so many. They're so beautiful.
So cute.
Look at those freckles. Look at those freckles. I actually need to wake up the baby from her nap. Breastfeeding moms know, like, this is how you tell which side they ate from last. That was a good nap. I'm hungry. Anyways, we've got lots of phone calls to make, lots of plans to do for everything that's been going on. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you again soon.
Pray for us, please.
Bye.